Hi, Bella, and welcome to your 2024 Auburn Swim Camp video analysis. We're going to take a look at your breaststroke today and see the things that we can do better. I happened to film this right after we did our breaststroke camp day, so there's a lot of helpful tips, hopefully, I can give you that you can resonate with from the camp, okay, and all the drills that we have done. So let's take a look first at the things that you're doing exceptionally well. And I do like your breaststroke out sweep very much. You have a very nice pull setup, okay? Your eyes are looking forward at the beginning of the setup. That's a great job. Awesome wide setup, good pull inside, shooting your hands forward. You're not dropping your hands, which is a very common mistake for breaststrokers, but you have them shooting directly forward and snapping your feet back. You have a very nice kick setup. Look at those feet, perfect, great width at the knees, no resistance. So great job on those aspects of your strokes. You also have a very good line forward, okay? So you're spinning a great job in parallel to the water surface. So this is very good line there. Now let's see and take a look at the things that we could be doing better. So first and foremost, let's take a look at the head position. We spent a lot of time today at the camp talking about the head position and what it drives. Okay, we talked about the head position connection with your hips. So as you go forward, you see that your eyesight remains entirely forward. Okay, so you're missing out a little bit on the line there. Okay, so if you're gonna have your arms forward like this, it actually makes better sense to tilt your head down and have your eyesight pointing down at about 45-degree angle towards the bottom of the pool. Or really, sometimes you can play around as looking directly down at the bottom. Okay, some of the breaststrokers will actually tilt their head down so far that they can kind of see their feet snap behind there. So that's one of the tips I can give you for that. Now, let's look at the sweep here through. Great, again, shooting forward. And you see how, again, when you going forward, you maintain your eyesight forward. Okay, so again, I recommend in this position to have your head tilted down. Okay, that will help your line, and what else it will do, it will actually elevate and pull your hips forward and up. Okay, which is a very good position. One of the best way to think about breaststroke, especially a long breaststroke, like for your 200, for example, would be to pretend like you're swimming downhill. Okay, so again, raising the hands down, raising the hands, putting the head down and raising the hands to the water level. Okay, so let's take a look at the kick. Now, the next thing I see in your breaststroke line is when you finish the kick, you can see how your knees are bent. Okay, so that tells me that you're maintaining your kick, you're keeping it relaxed, which is a good thing. Okay, it's good for recovery. Let me erase that. We'll use the line tool. So this is great, but what I recommend is if you do tilt your head down and your hips rise, you will see you can actually align and point those toes. Okay, remember we talked about in breaststroke, everything's important. Okay, now let's dissect your kick just a little bit more, as we saw you setting up your kick very well with your feet opening up and setting up well. I do notice now that your knees are actually a little bit wide. Okay, some of the best breaststrokers in the world are able to keep this length just over the shoulder width apart. Okay, and your knees tend to be a little bit wider there. So why do we want to keep the knees narrower? Is we want to minimize that resistance. Okay, right now all the water that comes on the side there from both knees is meeting a lot of resistance. So if you connect the legs just a little bit closer together, okay, they don't have to be completely together, but narrower, you'll be able to minimize that resistance. It will make it harder for you to open up your feet and set up that kick, but it will help you. So now let's see how your stroke compares to some of the world-class athletes. Okay, so we're going to pull up the video here on some of the best breaststrokers in the world and take a look. Okay, so this is a video from the women's 200-meter breaststroke from the World Championships, and I want to draw your attention to this swimmer right here. Her name is Tatiana Schoenmaker, and she's a current defending Olympic champion. Okay, and the very first thing that we can notice from her, actually, no, let's see if we can see him go the other way, and maybe we can see a better line. So as she's shooting forward, you could see her head go down through the arms to create this perfect line. Okay, that's number one. You also can see her eyesight is pointing down and almost to the back. Okay, she probably can somewhat see her feet closing. Okay, so that's very important. And again, going down, and you can see how she is in a perfect alignment there with the water. Okay, that is it's not a mandatory tip, but it's a very helpful tip, and it will help you create a better line in your stroke. I just see it working for you. We can now see also a couple of breaststrokers from the other countries too. This is Tess Scooten right here. She tends to create a better line in the front, but she doesn't put her head through at all. Okay, but she still keeps her eyesight down. Okay, and then as she starts to pull, she elevates the head, and you do that actually very, very well in your stroke. Now I want to show you one more thing about the head position, specifically related to breaststroke. And you have one of the best swimmers in the world, one of the best IMers in the world, Leon Marchand, who does a phenomenal job with that. Let's see, I think it's this video right here. Okay, so Leon is the one closest to us. He's right here. Let's see what he does with his stroke. He shoots his hands forward. The head goes right through. You see that? The eyes are down, almost back. Okay, he closes his kick, lifts up the hips, hits that perfect line, and there's a glide. And he does relax his feet a little bit. You can see his knees are slightly bent, okay, but still very sharp. Again, he shoots forward, the head goes through, great alignment, and he's gliding at the surface of the water. Okay, so like I said, you have some things that you're doing exceptionally well. I do think you can play around with the head position in your stroke to get a better alignment. Now also the width of the kick. You can see here on the wind up of the kick, he's very narrow. Okay, we can go back to the video of the other breaststrokers swimming here and see how they do it. Okay, again, looking for narrow knees. So right here on Tatiana's kick, we can see how narrow her kick is. Okay, and then Tess Scooten has actually a wider kick, so somewhat similar to your setup. So it is not necessarily a negative thing, but some things you can play around and see how they work towards your stroke. I do prefer Tatiana's technique here. It looks like she's very polished. She spends a lot of time working on her stroke, and that's why she's an Olympic champion. So I hope these are helpful tips, and I hope you're able to apply them and improve your breaststroke.